Hi, this video is for Wednesday, April 1st for trigonometry. We're going to continue our talk on composite functions. So yesterday I showed you the notation that looked like this. And I told you that this didn't spell fog, but it meant that f is being composed with g of x. And so now, today, we're going to talk about how this notation and this notation mean the same thing. So we're going to start with the g of x function, and we're going to replace x in the f of x function with the entire g of x function. Okay, so these two notations mean the same thing. Now, the same can be said for g composed with f of x. If you have g f of x like that, that means the same thing. We're going to start with the f of x function, and we're going to replace x in the g of x function with the entire f of x function. Okay, so we're going to have 3 examples, and then you will have a Google form on these ideas to fill out. So, here we go. Alright, so example 1 says if f of x equals 4x minus 10 and g of x equals 2 minus x, we're supposed to find the following. So part A says find f of g of x. Okay, so we're going to take the g of x function, which is 2 minus x, and we're going to plug it in for x in the f of x function. So just like this. Okay, so now we're just going to have to simplify that. So we're going to distribute the 4. So it's going to say 8 minus 4x minus 10. And so then we're going to have negative 4x, and 8 minus 10 is negative 2. So that's negative 4x minus 2. And that's it. We did it. Okay, so now part B. Here, that looks kind of like a train wreck. Let me write that again. Part B, we have g of f of x. Like that. So we're going to take the f of x function, which is 4x minus 10, and we're going to replace x in the g of x function. So it's going to say 2 minus 4x minus 10. Now this minus here goes to 4x and the negative 10. So what's going to happen is we're going to have 2 minus 4x plus 10. So it's going to say negative 4x plus 12. And that's it. Okay, so as you can see, if g of x is on the inside, you take the whole g of x function and plug it into f. And then you simplify. If f of x is on the inside, you take the entire f of x function and plug it into g. And then simplify. Okay, so we're going to try example 2 now. Alright, on example 2, f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 7, and g of x equals 3x plus 1. Okay, so part A says find f of g of x. Okay, so we're going to take the g of x function and plug it in every place that there's an x in the f of x function. That minus 7 kind of got squished in there, but it's still there. Okay, if you remember from yesterday, when you have a quantity squared, that means you write it twice and you're going to FOIL it. So we're going to have 3x plus 1 twice. We're going to FOIL that in a minute. Plus, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this too. So 6x plus 2 minus 7. Okay, so now we're going to FOIL this. So we're going to have 9x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 1. Then the rest of this, 6x. I'm going to combine these two, so minus 5. And I'm doing that just to save space on the whiteboard. It's not like a rule that you have to do it that way, but we have to combine all of our like terms eventually anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so we have 9x squared, 3x plus 3x plus 6x. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. And 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Okay, so that is the answer to that one. Okay, now part B says find g of f of x. So we're going to take the f of x function and plug it in to the g of x function. So it's going to look like this. 3 times x squared plus 2x minus 7 plus 1. Okay, so that's going to say 3x squared plus 6x minus 21 plus 1. Okay, so simplifying that is going to say 3x squared plus 6x minus 20. Okay, so there you have it. That is example 2. I hope that's making sense so far. If it's not, you can always send me a message and I will get back to you and help you. Alright, example 3. We're still going to be doing composite functions, but now I'm going to give you a number to plug in for x. Okay? So example 3 says f of x is 2x squared and g of x is 4 minus 2x. Okay? And our job on example 3 part A is going to be to find f of g of 2. So what that means is we're going to take 2 and plug it into the g function and get the answer. And once we get the answer, we're going to plug it into the f function. So you take 2 and plug it into g first, get the answer, then plug that into the f function. Okay, so we're going to have g of 2 equals 4 minus 2 times 2. So 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, now we're going to take that answer 0 and plug it into the f function. So f of 0 is 2 times 0 squared, and we all know that that's going to be 0. So f of g of 2 equals 0. Okay, so you take the number, plug it into the function that's closest to it. So we took 2, plugged it into the g function, got the answer, then we plug that into f. Okay, so now we're going to do g of f of 2. So as you can see, the letters have been swapped around. So we're going to start with taking 2 and plugging it into the f function. Okay, so f of 2 equals 2 times 2 squared. So 2 squared is 4. And what is 2 times 4? 8. Okay, so now we're going to take the g function and plug in 8. So 4 minus 2 times 8. So 4 minus 16 is going to be negative 12. Okay, so that's it. G of f of 2 equals negative 12. Alright, so that concludes the lesson for the day. If you have any questions, please send me an email and I'll get back to you. I will post this video along with the notes and the Google form to Classroom. And that's it. I wish I could see you in person, but we're doing this a little longer now. So, see you tomorrow. Bye.